Hello, hello. Okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being patient with us. My name is Cynthia Rodriguez, and I support the UTSA School of Data Science as a Senior Program Manager. On behalf of the Steering Committee for the Draper Data Science Business Plan Competition, it is our pleasure to warmly welcome you today to our final round of competition. This event is made possible by a generous donation from venture capitalist Timothy Draper. This competition gives aspiring data scientists the opportunity to pursue their passion and present innovative, forward-thinking ideas. As of last year, we expanded eligibility to participants across all of North America. This year, we are excited to have representation from exceptional teams from all 3 countries, Canada, Mexico, and the US. Please join me in congratulating our finalist teams from Angelo State, Carnegie Mellon, Rice, Toronto Metropolitan University, Universidad Panamericana, Aguascalientes, UTSA, and UT Health San Antonio. Now I would like to introduce the honorable judges for today. Our first judge is Dirk Elmendorf, who is the former co-founder of Rackspace and seasoned entrepreneur and technologist with deep roots in business-to-business software as a service and AI integration. Our next judge, Christy Lime, is a program manager at Geekdom, where she leads initiatives that empower entrepreneurs through hands-on programming such as startup boot camps, founders networks, and mentorships. Our third judge is Aaron McKee, COO and Senior Vice President of FedITC, a San Antonio-based company with over 500 employees supporting military and intelligence clients around the world. Our fourth and final judge, Daniel Wiegand, is Managing Director at Draper Startup House Accelerator Plus Fund, which is an early-stage venture capital fund that invests money into pre-seed and seed companies. Thank you. So before we move forward, allow me to provide a brief overview of the competition. This team-based event is open to all student-led and student-created ventures that leverage data science to address real-world business challenges. Today, 8 outstanding finalists will take the stage. They'll be evaluated on 3 criteria: the data science foundation of their venture, the marketability and investment potential of their idea, and the overall quality of their presentation, both to our judges and to you, our audience. Each team may be represented by 2 members, 1 presenter who will deliver the pitch, and 1 supporter who will join during the question and answer portion. Pitches are limited to 5 minutes, followed up to 5 additional minutes of question and answer from our judges. That means each team will have a total of 10 minutes maximum on stage. Okay? So now, after this long wait, let us finally begin our pitches. So we will start with our first team, AdaptEase, so please join me in welcoming them to the stage.
Hi everyone, my name is Kele Chumaka, and I'm here to talk to us about AdaptEase. Okay, imagine you came out from an airplane, landing in a new country you've never been to before. You're jet lagged, you're hungry, you're tired. Most of all, you have a lot of questions. How do you adapt to this new land? What are the rules? The cultures will be different from your home country. What do? You want to avoid making mistakes and accidentally even breaking the law, which will have some financial implications, even the stress it's going to cause. So many questions going through your mind. As my mom used to tell me, he who asks a lot of questions does not miss his way. These questions are what AdaptEase aims to answer. Personally, we experienced the same thing when we came to the country. We had so many questions, no one to answer it, and we had to figure out a lot of it on our own. And we don't want other people to go through that as well. In 2023, a total of 97 million people came to the US and Canada, either through immigrants, or international students, or people visiting, or people even coming for tourist purposes. And out of these 97 million, many of them faced the same situation that I described. They had so many questions, but very little answers. And that is what AdaptEase hopes to answer. They are market, those people that face that challenge. So we intend to use data science in the form of machine learning, NLP algorithms, to be able to gather all this data and deliver it to the users, personalized to their specific circumstance. People that come on tourism will see tourism-related information, where to eat, where to go, tourist sites, things to avoid in the country, laws, local tourist laws related to them. They see only what they need to see, tailored to their smartphone devices for those that are accessing our app through their phone, or those visiting the website as well, or even the printed material. They are all synchronized. So how does this happen? First of all, we collect the data using our Python crawlers. And this data is sourced from government sources and official sources as well. And after the data is collected, is processed using our net income to be 130,000, which will give us approximately 50% ROI. And how do we get this money that I'm talking about? Through premium subscriptions, through affiliate listings, through partnerships with all this institution as well. Thank you. I will now invite my team member to join
Thank
me
you,
on the stage.
AdaptEase. Now we'll
Okay.
allow the second team member to join the stage.
Would you say this is more for like a tour guide, or I'm confused between the split between laws and essentials and like a tour guide that's constantly being updated? Can you talk about that? Because I don't feel like laws are probably updated all that frequently and probably don't need this to be constantly updated. Can you talk about like how you guys see this?
It's more of a one-stop shop for newcomers, in the sense of, as a newcomer, you have a lot of needs, not just the laws alone. In terms of like, even if I want to navigate the subway, things like that, it's very small, little, but it can be very, very difficult if you don't know what to do. So it's just more of, it's a one-stop shop for any newcomer, laws included.
Yes.
So you talk about immigrants, students, and visitors, and it seems that they would be very distinct needs for each of them that are different. How do you provide an app that's going to address somebody who might have the needs of a visitor versus the needs of someone who's immigrating? And then second part, specifically for immigrants, are you summarizing data from government websites, and are you concerned about any liability if there's any kind of error in that, if it creates a legal issue for them?
Okay. To answer to your second question, all the information are verified by a certified expert before it's being, because we have an AdaptEase engine which has four phases of the algorithm for each of the statuses that are very common: the tourist status, international student status, the experts, professionals, even the immigrants. So it works by having recommendations for each of these. So depending on the user, when you register in the app, you put the status that you're in at that moment. So it gives you tailored recommendation. So the next time you visit the country, if your status has changed, just update it on the app, and the recommendations will follow suit as well. Okay.
Just briefly, can you talk about the tech stack you're using to do all this NLP summarization?
Okay, so again, right now we are trying to use a named entity recognition and the classification. So eventually we are going to link it to the couple of other algorithms. Right now we are building the engine, so it's a very recent thing, but based on the real problem we experience. So we're hoping to, eventually we're going to integrate AI, but safely for now, no AI involved, just the algorithms. So hopefully, once we add all of these algorithms that would be able to pass all of this information using what's it called again? Using tokenization, right? To be able to sieve out the important things in the text as well. So they are all included in the algorithm we are building. Even word vectorization as well, a couple of other all these processes that pass this large amount of text to be able to extract the important things in it and then summarize it in the format that the user can digest.
I'd like to hear more about your go-to-market strategy. You have a goal of 350,000 revenue in the first year,
yes.
And I heard we're passing out flyers. So tell me more about how you're going to gain traction.
Okay, so the first step is to, first of all, as we are presenting on this stage, there might be angel investor that's experienced the same thing, who might be interested and want to invest. And also, we want to also visit institutions, universities all around, pitch the idea to the management. Perhaps they want to partner with us so that their students, they can give them the link to our app, and then we have the resources they need specifically tailored to their school. So the students that identify they are going to that school will have those information they need to be able to register their courses, everything tailored. So we hope to use that to be able to gain traction as well and spread awareness. And as well as even ads, originally we're going to put ads as well so that newcomers in the country will be able to see those ads the moment they land, and they could download the app and then fill in the sign-up form. A couple of other ideas we had to be able to gain traction at least the first year before we kick off and scale the business.
And then the second part of that would be, what type of traction do you already have?
Okay, right now, I know that I'm not alone. We're not alone. We experience the same thing. And a couple of our colleagues we talked to, they also experience the same thing, being in a new country, not knowing anybody. So many people go through this. Just for them to know about it, hear about AdaptEase, I know that many people will be interested, at least to give it a try. And we've done our like a brief study just within our friends in our community, and the results were very promising. They really want to download that app, or even tell their friends, or word of mouth spread around to be able to download it. Just small thing we could do to be able to give us enough confidence as we are starting to build our AdaptEase engine, because we are still at the development stage. We've not yet launched it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Team AdaptEase. Now we'll invite to the stage team number 2, CLINIKIA.
Olivia Sanchez walked into the hospital with chest pain, expecting help. Hours later, a misdiagnosis took her life. She wasn't just a number. She was my cousin, and she wasn't alone. 1 in 8 patients in Latin America experiences a preventable medical error. According to the World Health Organization, every minute, at least 5 patients die due to unsafe medical care. So how can we fix this? CLINIKIA is not just another EMR. It listens, learns, and supports clinicians at every step of the way. At its core, CLINIKIA is powered by a suite of advanced AI technologies that work together as a team. We use large language models to analyze clinical notes, summarize patient histories, and explain diagnosis, enhancing medical decision-making and improving communication between doctors and patients. Additionally, our machine learning models continuously learn from both historical and real-time patient data. They help identify risk factors, recommend treatments, and personalize care by discovering patterns that may be overlooked by the clinicians. Medical computer vision interprets diagnostic images like X-rays or CT scans, spotting anomalies early and enabling faster, more accurate decision-making. But what truly sets CLINIKIA apart is how these technologies are integrated under the agentic AI paradigm. This means they don't operate in isolation. They work like intelligent collaborators, from automating administrative tasks to guiding diagnostics. We are not replacing doctors. We're enhancing their ability to make informed, life-saving decisions. Our primary targets are the more than 22,000 hospitals and clinics and healthcare centers in Latin America, many of which operate with minimal tech support. The AI and healthcare market in Latin America is expected to surpass $3.6 billion by 2030 in projected revenue. This represents an annual growth rate of 36.7%. However, most current solutions are either generic, expensive, or completely lack AI capabilities. Now let's talk about how we stand out. While most competitors focus on implementing AI for administrative tasks, like appointment scheduling or basic record keeping, CLINIKIA is the only platform built to actively support medical decision-making. Unlike others, we are not just an admin tool. We are an AI-powered assistant that thinks with the doctors, not for them. Our pricing model is subscription-based, with flexible tiers for different clinic sizes. The basic tier is for small clinics with 1 to 5 users, offering AI-powered documentation, patient history, scheduling, and 1 AI diagnostic per session. The professional tier is for medium-sized clinics. It includes everything on the basic tier, plus role management, predictive analytics, AI-driven appointment optimization, and billing integration. The enterprise tier is for hospitals and large networks, providing full-scale AI analytics and custom integrations. Financially, we project $274,000 in projected revenue during our first year, reaching break-even point while validating market fit. Our costs focus on tech development, salaries, marketing, and legal fees, while projected internal rate of return of 79%. We are a multidisciplinary team with the same goal in mind. I'm Raul Rodriguez, leading the team. With me is Cesar Martin, Rodolfo Monreal, and Rogelio Salas, each driving a key part of the project. But we are a team of more than 15 people that are directly or indirectly working on this project. We are not working alone. Ricardo Espinosa and Gilberto Ochoa, both specialists in AI and medical research, are guiding us through the technical aspects, while Dr. Carmen Davila and Dr. Alejandro Claros ensure that the platform aligns with real-world medical needs and best practices. CLINIKIA is not just an idea. Our MVP is up and running. We are also supported by Microsoft for startups. This is the support we need to make AI faster, smarter, and more patient-focused. Thank you.
First, I'll say I really liked your deck. It was really put together very well.
Thank you.
My question to you is, what's your exit strategy?
Well, repeat the question, please.
What is your exit strategy?
So primarily our strategy for the market, I don't know if that's what you're asking, it's to first start with we are with doctors and they suggest us to their clinics. Also what we're doing is we're going to be in magazines, in medical events, and we want our primary strategy is to be in schools, colleges, people that medical students, we want them to get to know our product, familiarize, because it's the future and that's what we want. So yeah, that's basically our strategy.
So you mentioned using LLMs to do summarization and to guide doctors. Most of the research for that in the US is focused on the fact that it hallucinates or it doesn't know the terminology. So are you building your own models? How do you handle that in Spanish with the models are weaker? Like unpack messing up on someone's appointment is one thing. Your mission seems to be to improve care. How is your LLM guaranteeing better care?
Yes, actually, well, we want to make very clear that we don't aim to make any final diagnostic. We are giving all the support of the platform to clinicians and all the support through the diagnostic process, but the final decision is always made by a clinician or by a doctor that is treating the patient. Also, of course, well, we're working with the best models on the benchmarks, and what the difference from our system is that we are trying to do an agentic AI paradigm with the system. This means that we use different systems, different models, all of them doing some RAG, some regenerative augmented generation, and all of them are not, let's say, not trained from zero by us, but they are models that we know from other benchmarks that they are the best in the task that we need. So for example, the headmaster, let's say the hospital director of our company, of this system, we are using DeepSeek V12 because we know from the benchmarks that are publicly available that it's the best system to do task managing. From there, we have different departments, and so we use the best models for the specific task. If a patient, for example, has a heart disease, then we train a model with specific images of that part or with specific diagnostics, and we make that model only using this task, only focused on heart disease. And we are doing this type of things. Our MVP right now is having the skeleton, we have the structure, we have this mastermind, this DeepSeek V12 leading the task decision, but we are still developing our models to give the least hallucination as possible, of course.
Are you pulling data from an EHR? Or are you trying to be the EHR? Are you trying to control the record or pull data from another source?
Yes, we actually found that to do something that can help clinicians and doctors, we need to get this information from the source. So yes, we are planning to make a system that works also as an EHR, but it's also interactive with the doctor, with the clinician, and helps them do everything that an EHR does or a EMR does, but faster and with the help of this system.
Do you think your budget is enough to build a full EHR system?
Well, the thing about making an agentic AI system It's that we can make it modular, so we don't need to have the full implementation of everything at the moment. Actually, from the tiers, we offer different models to different clinics according to their necessities. So while we don't have the power right now, the economical power to do the full implementation as of right now, we do have the power to make it, building it from the beginning, so to give with the time full implementation, yeah.
Can you talk about the competition a little bit? You claim that no one is doing anything with AI or machine learning. Can you talk about, I find that hard to, we can talk about it later.
Thank you, CLINIKIA, very much. Now we welcome to our stage our third team, CrossJobs.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Justice, and together with Joan, we are building CrossJobs. CrossJobs is an AI-powered recruiting platform designed to revolutionize hiring for modern teams. The problem came from a very personal place. Back in 2022, I was laid off as a software engineer. I struggled to stand out despite my strong skills and background. I moved to Canada in 2023 and met Joan. She had a similar problem. So we decided to turn our pain into purpose. After interviewing 30+ recruiters, we realized the problem is systematic. And that's what CrossJobs aim to solve. Hiring today is broken. Recruiters face slow manual hiring, resume overload, where signals get lost, shallow candidate insight, where only resumes and interviews fail to reflect a candidate's true capabilities, fragmented communication, where there's always a disparity between spreadsheets and calendars. CrossJobs aims to solve these problems, and we talk about the problems, solutions in detail in the next slides. All right, so our first solution is the resume screening and ranking. CrossJobs has a solution where we actually fine-tune a model called BERT with over 2 million tokens of job descriptions and resumes. We then use this model to rank and to embed and rank these resumes and compare them using something we call cosine similarity. This in turn gives us a better ranking of how each resume ranks to each job description. Our 2 paying customers are telling us it has boosted their productivity by up to 40%. You have something we call candidate profiling as well. With candidate profiling, it's more like Netflix for jobs. Sometimes recruiters come back and tell us, hey, I hired a candidate previously, I want to find a similar candidates. Our AI does that as well. We have interview summarization. So we also fine-tune a model called the Stillbot with over 120,000 conversations from HR firms. What that helps us transcribe and summarize interviews in real time, which means note-taking for recruiters is a thing of the past now. Decision-making. We have something we call confidence score. It's just a buzzword. We just do a weighted sum of the ranking from the resumes and then the rankings for the interview summarizations. This helps our recruiters find the best candidates in just a click of a button. Our key features include advanced analytics for data-driven insights. We also have a bot called Liam that joins interviews and transcribes them in real time for you. And this is what most of our competitors don't do. The market size for the HR recruitment space is 3.1 billion, growing at 9.2% annually. CrossJobs aim to focus on the lion's share, which is the North American market. Our go-to-market strategies involve sales-based commissions with HR leaders and freelance SDRs. We recently onboarded a sales co-founder with 10+ years of experience in the recruiting space, who is spearheading our sales part. Our subscription is per user per month model. So we currently have 2 paying customers. We are on target to hit 20K in revenue by Q4 of 2025. We have 40 customers in the pipeline that we are speaking to and hoping to onboard them in the coming months. We aim to hit 8 million in revenue by 3 years' time. With Draper's support, we hope to accelerate the product development and then expand our growth. We are not just building software, we are building a future where potential doesn't get lost in the pile. Thank you.
Can you talk about what's the secret sauce here? It seems like a lot of it is just Calendly mixed with a resume parser, and you're just bundling it. Can you talk about like what makes you guys unique?
Okay, so for instance, how you have Workable, which is one of our competitors. So we, with CrossJobs, you have everything all integrated in one place. It's like resume matching, it has AI integration, which you don't find with other software. So you're able to do resume matching, our bot Liam, which comes in to summarize the whole meeting, and you have actionable insights from that. So for instance, you've had past candidates which you've interviewed. So based off the experience the information you got with other candidates and your current candidates, you would see a comparison which you could take action with at the end of the day. So basically, you're able to schedule, you're able to resume match, and without like having any need for any other platform. You all get it with CrossJobs.
So if you're pitching a client that already has an applicant tracking system and is using ChatGPT or any of the Indeed like top 10 AI tools, besides integrating everything into one platform, what other differentiators are there? Which I guess is kind of similar to what your question is, but like how are you selling, how are you expressing that value to a client?
Okay, so we spoke to our co-founder, the sales co-founder, and then after analyzing everything, we realized that most of them, for example, with meeting notes are like all over the place. Like for example, when I speak to recruiters during job interviews, they'll be like, hey, hang on, I'm taking note and everything. With CrossJobs, you don't have to do that again because we have Liam joining in to actually transcribe the meetings for you. We also have advanced analytics. Our analytics can tell you how much time an average person spends filling a form that you send to them to fill. It tells you how much time you take from from interviewing to hiring. Our analytics tell you all this information, so you know everything going on in one place, so you can track it easily, and then you can actually improve your systems.
Can you talk about your decision to use BERT and local vectors rather than using RAG on a big model?
All right, so for example, like when we started, we were not having the money to train bigger models, so we were looking at the ones that are like cost effective, so we decided to choose BERT. So BERT is open source. All our data sets are open source as well. So getting all these things together and fine-tuning was a bit easier for us. We didn't need a lot of money. We just had Microsoft Azure for founders. That's the only thing that we had. So we just have to like play along and then make sure we can fine-tune our models and then actually get accuracy higher too.
And how have you managed the fact that most of the job descriptions are terrible?
It is. So with CrossJobs, there's no demo here. I don't have time to demo. So if you go to CrossJobs and you're actually posting a job, after you fill in the key parts of the job and you click on next, we have generated AI there. The moment you click on the button, we've trained them, train a model that can actually pick all this information and generate a very, very good job description for you that you can just modify a bit if you want to modify.
Where did you get those customers from?
So our customers, one is called Delta Air Systems, based in Canada. It's just through a word of mouth. I just met her at an event, like they spoke to her, and I told her, hey, you don't have a career site, or it's terrible. I can give you something to fix your problem. Just like, sure, let's do it. There's another one too called Arcade. It's an NGO, they hire a lot. I spoke to them, and then they were like, okay, let's try it. And so far, it's good.
That was along the lines of my question.
For scaling, a lot of your competitors in the space are publicly traded multi-billion-dollar companies, Dice, Indeed, et cetera. Do you think your scaling plan is aggressive enough to get you market share where you can differentiate from them before they implement these same kind of technologies?
Yeah, good question. So the thing is, we have like a sales co-founder who is actually helping us with these things. We spoke to him about it. We've done some interviews, and I realized that we have to go slowly, target the SMEs that are not having the careers pages yet. So, for example, we have like data that we acquired. We speak to like people that don't have careers pages yet. We speak to them, and then we try to be aggressive with them a bit to get them on board. And those are part of the 40 customers we are hoping to onboard in the coming months.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you would use the funding?
All right, so the most important thing is the AI inference. We are trying to use Vertex AI, which is very it's costly. So we are trying to invest more there so that we can get accurate matching.
That was quite perfect timing. So thank you very much, CrossJobs. Now we will welcome to the stage MedIQ.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saran Samardana, and on behalf of MedIQ Health, I'd like to introduce you to Inhaler, a device not just meant to manage asthma, but to transform lives by allowing patients to breathe easy and live freely. I'd like you all for a brief moment to imagine yourself waking up in the middle of the night, struggling for breath, feeling like your chest is being crushed under the weight of 1,000 gold bars. This is sadly the reality of millions worldwide. Just to give a little bit more context, roughly 10 Americans die every single day from asthma attacks, and over 60% of these deaths are preventable. We aim to attack these issues head-on by addressing two major challenges with asthma management. The first one is the patient-physician disconnect. Currently, there is no way asthma specialists can know if the medication they're prescribing is effective or not until it's too late, and the patient experiences discomfort or even worse, an asthma attack. The second deals with low medication adherence, with rates less than 50%, which significantly increase the risk of severe attacks. With our novel inhaler clip-on and our intelligent mobile application, we're able to offer patients first-of-its-kind personalized data, usage and recommendations, and actionable insights. But how exactly does Inhaler work? Let's start with the physical clip-on. Patients first start by clipping on Inhaler to their metered dose inhaler, which features a force sensor and an accelerometer to ensure that the patients are properly shaking and using the correct amount of force to dispense their medication. After this, the patient then exhales into the device fully, where the air is redirected into a small cavity that houses a fractional exhaled nitric oxide sensor, or FeNO for short. And FeNO is currently the most accurate, non-invasive and predictive biomarker at detecting lung health. All the circuitry components are located here, with the force sensor and accelerometer there, and the LED indicator at the back. And all of this is then wirelessly transmitted to our Poly mobile application. Let's walk you through how this works. After signing into our application, we're then greeted with the home page. Let's log our symptoms for the day. Let's say we had mild coughing that was relatively dry, mild wheezing that was only during exertion, and we didn't have that great of sleep last night as we woke up with intermittent wheezing. After logging our symptoms, the FeNO data is then wirelessly transmitted from our inhaler clip-on into our application. For presentation purposes, let's say our peak flow rate was around 400 liters per minute, and our nitric oxide levels were relatively low. After logging our data, Polly here congratulates us for logging our data, and we're bringing to the achievements page, which encourage patients to continue using our application. Here is the Health Insights page, which gives a myriad of different information, such as pattern recognition, trigger symptom correlation, and impact analysis, along with health insights and recommendations tailored to the patient. As stated before, our clip-on, along with our application, is inherently driven by data science. Our application is able to provide time series analysis and track FeNO and adherence trends over time. Correlation analysis can link weather, air quality, and pollen to inhaler use and symptom severity. And we're able to offer predictive modeling and causal inference in order to offer key health insights and recommendations. And we're currently working on a clinical connections panel where we can offer real-time and report-based connections for the clinicians and their patients. Now let's head to the market. Our serviceable obtainable market is roughly 3% of severe asthma patients, reflected in $10.3 million in revenue. what distinguishes us on the market is that we're able to offer both medication adherence and novel FeNO sensing all in one without disrupting the patient experience whatsoever. So it's simply like using your inhaler, all at an affordable price point. And our go-to-market strategy is simple yet effective. Upon patient prognosis, our partner clinicians will then recommend inhaler to their patients. This strategy leverages previously established doctor-patient relations to not only decrease customer acquisition costs, but also hopefully gain insurance coverage. And our future is promising. With just our poly application, priced at $5.95 a month, expected to hit the App Store on May 1st, our projected revenue at the end of the year is $300K, with our expenses roughly $40K, which means our gross profit to around $260,000. And this will only go up as we plan on launching our clip-on later in the year, priced at $99.50. Here are the faces behind the product, but don't just take our word for it. Last year, we were accepted to the Design of Medical Devices Conference. We were digital health finalists in the Hopkins Design Competition, and we have a journal out right now in the ASME journal. At MedIQ, we understand that the best way to deal with an asthma attack is to ensure that it never happens. And with Inhale, we're not just predicting these attacks, we're helping prevent them entirely. Join us as we redefine asthma care for everyone, everywhere, finally allowing patients to breathe easy and live freely. Thank you.
Great job, by the way. That was a great pitch.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the market size again, or touch on it? It seems small, 10.4 million. I don't know how you guys came up with that, but just curious around that.
Yeah, so the market size right now, the total addressable market is currently the global asthma population. And then as we zoom in on the US, which is our serviceable attainable market, we zoom in on more of the severe asthma patients. And then conservatively, we estimate to capture roughly 3% of severe asthma patients. And this is all calculated from both the inhaler and the poly application combined.
And then just a quick follow-up. So does the clip-on fit, are all inhalers the same size, or?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So initially, we plan on only using the metered dose inhalers, but as we grow and as we scale, we hope to retrofit our products so that we can fit more inhalers, as some are kind of like cylindrical, some are more like box-shaped. So we hopefully aim to have a sort of suite of inhaler products that we can fit to all our patients' needs.
The 3% severe asthma patients, is that total, or is that in your first, in your initial runway, or why is it so low? Why do you think such a small percentage?
That's in our initial runway in our first year. We hope to capture 3% of the severe asthma patient market, and we anticipate that as our product gains more traction, we'll be able to connect more with more doctors. So this is starting with the connections we formed at the Texas Medical Center in Houston.
Do you already have a manufacturer to produce the product? What is your cost to manufacture, and how many can you produce in the next year?
That's a good question. So currently, we do have healthy profit margins. We're pricing it at $99.50 the clip-on, but the raw materials cost around $14 to make, with the most expensive product being the fractionally exhaled FeNO sensor. Currently, we have yet to reach out to manufacturers, but hopefully with the Draper funding, we'll be able to reach out and expand.
I'd say great pitch and great pitch deck. Could you talk me through a little bit more about how it sounds like you're partnering with clinicians, but there's a fee for the app? So you're expecting the doctor to essentially sell your app, or how is your consumer going to start knowing where you are?
So we hope to market through clinics to start, again, leveraging those connections that we have right across the street at the Texas Medical Center. However, we anticipate that not all of our users will seek the app device combo, and so we want to offer the app as a standalone as well. And that helps us capture beyond just the severe asthma market. If patients, for example, just want a streamlined way to see, can I log my symptoms for the day? Am I using my medication regularly? And how can I communicate that with my doctor when I may only be seeing them every 6 months?
So the app isn't connected to the device? Like, I'm just putting everything in manually then?
Sorry, I wanted to clarify that. So if the patient does have the device, they have the option to sync from the app's Bluetooth software, from the device's Bluetooth software into the app. However, all the features that we described in the app beyond the FeNO readings are available, and the medication adherence are available as simply a symptom tracker and health insights page as well.
Can you talk about the process you went to develop how you analyzed the FENO data from that and use that to drive your clinical decisions?
Yes, so FENO, as Saran mentioned, is the most effective predictive biomarker of asthma care. In fact, studies have shown that FENO levels above a certain threshold value can indicate an increased exacerbation risk of 4 times in the next 7 days. And we really leverage this high risk factor of the biomarker. In addition, FENO data has been shown to correlate to decreased leveraging FENO data can decrease poor healthcare medication prescriptions by 20% as well. So that really helps us bring in quantitative data to encourage insurance companies, clinicians, and patients to use our device.
Well, so I actually meant like the process of actually converting all of that, like doing the data analysis. What part of that did you have to develop, or was that readily available?
Yes, sorry. So the machine learning algorithms that we use take in the FENO data, collects that along with the weather data. So for example, pollen, humidity, wind, and patients' previous FENO readings and exacerbation risks, and to compute the 7-day rolling average.
You said you were looking to launch in May, the app in May. Are you going on, what is it? iPad or
iOS.
iOS
Yeah.
and Android?
We plan to start with iOS and then move from there.
What do you need the money for mostly? Talk about it later.
Thank you.
Always the buzzer.
Thank you, MedIQ. And next on stage, we'll have Neural Precision Solutions.
Hi, I'm Cole Ballard, and this is Neural Precision Solutions. Today, neural therapy is static, but our brains aren't. That's the problem we solve. If you've ever watched someone suffer through depression, you know the cost of static care. At MPS, we use neural signals to craft precise, adaptive therapies. Neural equals data. Precision equals personalization. Solution equals AI. We're using EEG TMS, which is electroencephalography combined with transcranial magnetic stimulation to treat depression and OCD. EEG uses a cap that's placed over the head to record the brain's electrical activity using electrodes. TMS is a large magnet that delivers pulses to specific brain regions to alter neural brain activity. Current EEG TMS tools use fixed protocols or baseline models, but brain activity is dynamic and should be treated that way. Our system adapts to individual neural signals in real time using AI. That's what precision looks like. Our pipeline starts by getting meaningful brain data and using transformer-based models to represent each patient's neural state. Our reinforcement learning agent gets simulation from each state and adjusts. At night, we use post-session EEG to refine models like how your brain simulates reality when you dream. The result, an AI system that learns from a patient's brain and improves its own treatments. Our next step is conducting clinical trials. We're located in San Angelo, Texas, about 3 hours north of here. And our initial customers are hospitals, clinics, and wellness centers looking to upgrade static treatments. The global neuromodulation devices market was valued at $5.8 billion in 2024 and is projected to grow at 8.5% annually. Other competitors offer neuromodulation but have limited AI-driven personalization. We offer understanding. For capturing customers, we plan on using 2 approaches. For high touch, we engage directly with clinics and hospitals and hold presentations that specialize medical conferences. This accelerates adoption. For low touch, we grow our user base through strategic referral partnerships and social media virality. Our bold product will stand out in today's saturated digital space. Ultimately, This is a recently conceived business plan, so we are pre-revenue. We plan to implement a pilot with a regional medical center to demonstrate the efficacy of our system in a clinical setting. Afterwards, offer monthly or annual licensing fees for continued usage of our platform, then expand to neighboring clinics and wellness centers. Our costs for the first year will include testing equipment and hiring researchers. Year one, $50,000 in costs, $80,000 in projected revenue. A single additional clinic would double that. We're building an engine for recurring, scalable income through licensing. I bring over 3 years of experience in AI and data engineering, including work on healthcare data systems and academic research with Purdue's DataMine. Jose Arteaga leads our hardware integration team and customer-facing efforts, drawing from years of experience in customer-facing efforts and hardware integration. We're also supported by a professional neurologist who ensures our system aligns with clinical needs and medical safety standards. So, to understand the system that NPS consists of, we provided a graphic of the flow of processes for the application. This is how it works. We collect raw brain signals in TMS session data, noises are removed, and brainwave patterns are extracted. We get neural state embeddings, which are personal snapshots. An AI agent tests and adapts simulation strategies per user, and a rule-based engine tracks every AI decision against medical guidelines. Doctors see clear summaries and model back suggestions on their dashboard. Finally, simulation is applied and targeted, dynamic, and personalized. The system adapts, learns, and improves every session. This isn't just a treatment. This is a feedback loop for healing. Thank you for your time.
Is your system built?
It's in development right now.
Where are you in development? Do you have a functioning prototype or still in design?
It's in the data processing point, so I'm using data, but hasn't been tested because, to do that, it's going to take like getting over hurdles as far as, permissions and things like that, like licenses and, I can't think of the word, but what is that word? Like getting over, there's medical rule sets that you have to get over you have to pass tests. It's the 510K medical. It's like for devices, and that includes software. So I have to pass that, and then we can begin testing. But so far we have like EEG data, which is openly available, and we're also using synthetic data that is derived from open data to get, instead of like EEG data that's more generalized, we can get TMS extracted relationships from that. So we're like decently far in the development process, but not yet in testing. So
normally when you do reinforcement learning, you're guiding the model towards a known good. How do you do that in these brain models when the brain you're studying is not good by definition?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the reward system is going to use a healthy brain, but not just a healthy brain, one that started in depression and moved towards like a healthy state. So you kind of have a path, which would, as far as like neural embeddings, you have neural states that are supposed to look a certain way, and if the neural state in the depressed patient starts to look like that neural state, then it's going to get rewarded, and then the reinforcement is going to, keep those parameters.
So in that healthy state brain is not their brain originally; it's some other reference brain.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to. Yeah, it's because even though every brain's different, like you still have to use. You have to understand the future. If you could predict the future of like someone's brain, that'd be awesome. But
how would you use the funding?
Yeah, the first thing would be to hire researchers, specifically people that have access to the devices. That way they could test it. And
it's a little bit out of reach to buy the devices because they cost upwards of $50,000 to $100,000. But yeah, hiring researchers that have access, working with people that have access to it is like the way that we would be able to test the product and move forward.
What do you think your price point is?
Yeah, price point. So in the pilot program, we would offer $80,000 per year for a larger hospital, for like a wellness center where you're going to have less patients. It's going to be less than that. But that's because TMS treatments usually range from $6,000 to $15,000 per patient. So we obviously want to make that be lower, because if you're efficient, then you're not going to have as many sessions. So it's they would have to have, I think, 10 people on average to get that cost back. So as long as they can have 10 people use it, then they've recovered that.
Just a suggestion for future, I would move this slide up. I finally understood it when we got to this point.
Yeah.
And I think that would have helped going through the rest of it. I guess the biggest question I have is the differentiation that your AI does. I think you claimed that no one is doing it, or they're not doing it right.
Correct.
Can you explain like what they're doing wrong?
So yeah, EEG TMS is it's in itself like a pretty niche, small, like very new thing. And then applying, I'm just basing it because a lot of the software is proprietary. I can't access it. But based on research, no one else, people have used this in different neuromodulation systems, not with a magnet, but no one's used it with a magnet yet as far as the research goes. So that's why I think that as far as I know, no one's doing it.
Why are you passionate about doing this?
Yeah, I love brain health. I love neurology. I'm computer science and AI, but for the longest time, I've always just loved the brain. So I'm all about like using AI to improve the brain. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Neuroprecision Solutions. Now we invite Perflection AI to the stage.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. We're turning any smartphone into a personal AI sports coach. Starting with golf, our technology delivers a real-time, personalized training experience, and we believe our approach will become the most effective, low-cost solution for anyone to learn and enjoy sports. Imagine you're a recreational golfer. Your goal is to make consistent progress. Yet you only have 3 options: online tutorials, human coaches, or golf improvement apps. You tried YouTube videos, but they're overly generic. Then you spend a lot of time, effort to find human coaches, but only to realize that first, they're not always good teachers. And second, you cannot remember everything, and you're still on your own between classes. Finally, you download some golf training apps, but they feel too clunky and not so smart to guide you. And now you're stuck, but you're not alone. 70 million other golfers have the same problem, let alone 3.5 billion people in other recreational sports. Therefore, starting from golf, we propose Swingy, a 24/7 companion that delivers real-time, affordable, and personalized learning. Our technical goal is to convert a swing video into vision and language feedback. On the upper half of the slide, we designed our initial solution to be ready for use without any prior training. Starting with the phone camera, recording user swing videos, our motion capture module can directly extract 3D human motions from video without any additional hardware. Next, we align the motion and text using a shared representation such that the human body motion can be better understood by our system. Then using the representation, we're able to retrieve the closest professional swing video as reference. Comparing to these references, we can identify problems of the user swings, just like a professional coach would. This framework, without extensive training or data, already enables our first AI golf training prototype. In the short term, we use this zero-shot solution to jumpstart our product and to collect large-scale annotated sports data. But in the long term, we aim to fine-tune vision language models into a holistic, the first ever sports foundation model that is on par with professional coaches. So how well does it actually work? On the left, we can see that the body is faithfully extracted from user videos. To make sure our algorithm is effective, we first compute a similarity heat map of swing videos taken from 3 different users. The heat map clearly shows that the motions from different users are separated, demonstrating the effectiveness and potential of the representation that we use. Using this representation, we can successfully match user videos to reference videos, and also we can identify the user swing problems. Together, both paths can offer automatic, accurate, and intuitive coaching suggestions to the users. Ultimately, our goal is to harness the strength of existing solutions and break through their current limitations. Hardware-based systems and on-site coaches offer high-precision feedback and expert instruction. However, they're very expensive and confined by physical locations. Online coaching platforms with legacy AI brings good visuals and some basic coaching tips, but they lack real-time and adaptive interaction and feedback. Legacy AI analysis tools are affordable and accessible, but they're too generic to provide serious skill improvement or personalized progression. In comparison, we use the next generation AI to deliver coach-like feedback to everyone's fingertips. Our golf market is at $1.6 billion nationwide, while the broader market is at $26 billion. And we're expanding this market by delivering personalized learning to more people. Our go-to-market strategies include online marketing like social media, golf school collaborations, and product-led growth. We use a freemium plus paid session model to serve a wide spectrum of users. With the money of only 2 traditional lessons, you can get a whole year companion from us. Since we're pre-revenue, our estimated earning is a loss of $250,000. And this is our team. Collectively, we have a life passion for sports. Professionally, we're serial entrepreneurs, researchers, and engineers to make things work. With Perflection, we make sports learning effective and joyful. Thank you.
Do any of your competitors, especially on the apps, not the coaches or the legacy hardware, do they use motion capture at this time?
I think, yeah, some of them use this motion capture to pre-process the videos, but none of them have the opportunity or have the ability to provide progression, so that their model does not involve with the users. So what they're doing is that they're basically using it to pre-process the input, and then from a preset, say, problem sets, they will match whatever problem that you have and provide it to you, so that their feedback is not they're not evolving around with the users. But in our solution, we plan to build this foundation model that can learn and evolve along with the user as the user progresses.
And your model is not built yet, is that what you just said?
Yeah, so currently we're jump-starting our product with the visual and language feedback that we provide. And by doing this, we plan to have more golfers and professional coaches engage in our app, in our product. And by doing so, we're able to collect more data. And data is the key in this world, because with more data, with more professional sports data, we're able to build this model in the long run that will be specialized for this sport.
Why did you choose to go with golf first?
Oh.
Yeah, so actually we find out that actually golf is a really gigantic market in the US. And also golf is pretty difficult to learn and hard to maintain and easy to forget. So it's a big market for golfers to, there is multiple challenges for golfers to keep participating in golf learning. So it's pretty important to have a real-time and simple and instant feedback for golfers to adjust their swinging and also their body movements. So it's pretty important to get a real-time feedback. So on the market, usually in-person coach is pretty expensive for them. I also could not keep tracking
after classes. So it's pretty important to have this kind of app to provide on-time feedback for them too. Yeah.
On your post analysis, you cited a paper. So did you develop the algorithm to actually embody the person, or are you using something that's available?
Yeah, we're using the ones that are available. Yeah, but they're state of the art. Yeah.
And they are like a general purpose, but we fine tune on golf specific.
Yes.
Rely on our collected data set.
Yep.
What do you plan to charge for it, and how do you get it in front of people? SEOs?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. So currently we're charging users $30 per month for the subscription, and usually the other apps charges at $15 per month. But we feel that with a higher price, we're able to provide more. That's why we're charging at a higher level. However, compared to like traditional lessons with experts, it usually costs around $100 and $150 per lesson per hour. So I feel that the price is, so that's why we say with the money of only 2 lessons, we get the companion for a whole year. And the second part is for the go-to-market strategy. Like we're currently, some of our team members are actively engaged in the golf community. So we're trying to have recruit people, like do the internal testing with our app, and then build, let's say, collaboration with some professional golfers and also just golfers and professional coaches. And from there, we're trying to collect more data and get more people to try out the app, and then that's how,
Timeline-wise, how far are you guys from putting this in the app store?
Yeah, currently we're at the MVP stage. So right now the app is being tested by some internal golfers that we are, and then we try to launch this whole thing with the AI ability enabled in the next year, by the end of next year. Yeah.
I noticed you have a ton of robotics experience in your team. Did that apply, or is it just coincidence?
You mean like apply it to golfing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that because for robotics, like perception is a very important part of robotics, and then by doing this golfing like analysis, perception is also very important. So that's why a lot of people from our team have 3D background in this. We know a lot of like state-of-the-art techniques for 3D image processing and video processing and 3D reconstruction. This will, in a large sense, help our system to like reconstruct the user's poses better and to offer better advice. Yeah.
Is anything in your solution stack patentable? Like, can you patent anything about it?
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Perflection AI. And now, please welcome our next team, SMAI.
Imagine you're a student, focused, sharp, meticulous. You want to learn, but the lights are too bright, the noises are relentless, and the world is just too much for you. And the only outlet that your body allows you is to hit yourself on the head. That could be a routine for many people with autism. Hi, we are SMAI, and we are here to create a safer classroom environment for people with autism. Autism is a neurodivergent disorder that is characterized by the difficulty in communication and motor sensory behavior. 1 in every 36 American is diagnosed with autism today. That has gone up by 178% ever since 2000. The budget spent on autism is projected to be $415 billion by the end of 2025. Now, with 42% risk in engaging in self-harm behavior, only 14% of people with autism tend to graduate from higher education, not because they are unable to learn, but because their environment fails to adapt to their needs. Now, the good news is research has indicated that proper intervention can higher their IQ score and adaptive behavior by 10 to 15 points, and that intervention is exactly what SMAI is here to deliver. So our solution consists of a classroom setting that is privacy preserving and non-invasive and does that intervention. At the core, we have a Kinect sensor with an inbuilt multi-person pose tracking that captures only the pose data and not the faces. These pose sequences are then streamed into our cloud-based pose prediction AI model that is pre-trained on data from a kinesiology lab study. If a self-injurious pose is imminent, this system triggers an alert into our integrated learning management system with a notification and a context-aware strategy for the teacher to alleviate the situation. It gets better. We are now enhancing our model with introducing multimodality and biomechanical embeddings and musculoskeletal pseudo-ground truth for better accuracy. Now we're starting off where the need is the greatest, so academic institutions. And that is where the core focus of this business model is. And we're starting by our discounted pilot program to build up credibility and testimonials. Our launching will be within the UT system where we have our institutional support, and then we're furthering our partnership with disability centers. Our next phase includes expanding into rehab centers and eventually into the homes of people with autism for better intervention. Now, our market is significant and unexplored, with 150K academic institutions all over the US that builds up to 2.25 billion of total addressable market. We have set a reasonable strategy to cover 600 classrooms by 2028. That amounts to 2.4 million in revenue. Now, this revenue does not include charging for hardware setup or LMS integration. Instead, it stems from an annual subscription of about 2,500 per classroom that includes dashboards and alerts and updates. This is accompanied by a second revenue stream by the third year where we sell our pose data, anonymized pose data, to researchers and industry. Now, our break-even point would be by covering 4 classrooms, but we're launching in 20 classrooms by the end of 2026, which builds up to a 45% in gross profit, that is 16K profit. Now, like a lot of other startups, we're not planning on a huge profit during the first year, but we're targeting for a 1.7 million revenue in 2028. SMAI does not have a direct competitor. Actually, we're delivering a system that is multi-person and real-time and does not inconvenience, like other similar services, does not inconvenience the people with autism with some attached device or the presence of an agent, and is relevantly affordable. So we are this team of engineers and advocates who are willing to serve the neurodivergent people. Thank you.
I have a question. So what if a teacher is standing up and not at their computer when it detects something? How do they know? And then also, is there training to go along with it for what to do?
Of course, I can take that. So there's definitely going to be an onboarding process, meaning that we are going to have a specific instruction for the teachers and faculty who are teaching the class, as well as for the students. And the way that this notification works right now is going to be through an audio, meaning that there's going to be a 5-second sound playing in the classroom, and everyone should be aware of what this sound means, meaning that there's going to be one type of intervention. This intervention can be a break, because that's all the autism student needs, a change of environment, or maybe repeating the topic one more time. We understand that, like for example, in university, colleges, or high schools, this audio needs to be customized. So we are thinking about applying different type of, let's say, audio sounds as well as visual intervention for the faculty to use that based on the setting that they are using the product in.
You mentioned a pilot with UT, so is that signed?
So we are starting with the UTSA. We already have a very small funding from them to launch around 5 classrooms, beginning the fall semester that we are going in. And this very small funding is only going to cover those 5 classrooms. And we are hoping that through this pilot study, through the 2025, we build credibility with UTSA, and hopefully we can move on from more UT system after that.
You mentioned privacy preserving. I guess I'm still a little confused on how it's not going to track someone's face and like how you can keep that private.
So that's a great question. And that's a very prevalent problem with people with autism. They don't want their faces or sensitive data shared. So we're, as we said, we are using this Connect sensors that only capture the pose data, so pose coordinates, joint coordinates. And they are not capturing, although they are seeing, but they are not capturing or inferring any weights, updating any model weights according to the image, RGB image. So everything is done on pose coordinates, and that's how we do it privacy preserving manner.
And can I just add one more thing? That these pose coordinates are not considered as a biometric features, so you cannot like re-engineer them in order to identify that person. So it's not re-identifiable.
That's actually an advantage because a lot of similar systems, and by similar I mean working on people with autism, they do face tracking, which involves the eyes. That is biometrics, but we're not doing biometrics even.
So does that mean that you don't have to say that you're doing this in the classroom? Do you have to promote that you're using your data and do you have to educate your audience to be able to use this product in the classroom? Or can you just put it in and then explain?
No, definitely. There's going to be an onboarding and education process. We want everyone to understand when there is a notification going on, what does this sound mean? So definitely there's going to be education both for instructor as well as the students.
So can you talk through your process for once you have all this pose data and you do the analysis, does that model continue to need to be updated? Like, have you validated its effectiveness? Like, talk through the data science part of this.
So we have validated over the data that we have from that kinesiology lab study. But definitely these models are, as you know, data hungry, and the more data they are fed, they are the better in terms of accuracy. And plus, with the new embeddings that we're introducing to the model, like biomechanicals, that brings us in a whole new perspective. And yes, the models keep updating, keep being updated, and in terms of structure and in terms of how much training is done on them.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I add one more thing? That we are hoping with the launch in the UTSA with these 5 classrooms, because there's going to be a feedback loop, meaning that when there's a notification, the instructor is going to send a feedback that was it correct, was it false positive, was it false negative. So hoping that during this year in 2025, that will be another round of validation for us.
That's what I was going to ask, is how do you close that loop when the intervention is unsuccessful?
Yeah, that's basically a user study side of it.
Have you explored if anyone has patents on using that biomechanical data to determine if there's an incident? Are you concerned about any patents you may have to contend with, or are filing your own patents?
I was happy to answer after.
Yeah. Thank you. We can answer.
Thank you very much, Team SMAI. And on to our very last team to take the stage. Please welcome Serve AI.
Every morning, Officer Ramirez clipped on his badge with purpose. His mission was clear: to serve and protect his community. But over time, that mission got buried beneath paperwork. Countless hours behind a desk, overtime spent away from family. Instead of serving his community, he's stuck fighting outdated bureaucratic processes. At Serve AI, our mission is to eliminate monotonous paperwork, bringing law enforcement to the 21st century. Currently, police departments across the US are drowning in paperwork. Up to 50% of an officer's shift is consumed by writing reports, not community engagement. Meanwhile, millions of hours of body cam footage sits entirely unused. There's a critical lack of infrastructure for leveraging this footage, and there's no scalable way to review or learn from it. We built SurveyAI to fix that. So, how do we do it? We start with what officers already have, body cam footage. In the field, our platform integrates in real time with officer equipment. Using multimodal models, we extract critical information from officer body cameras, capturing not just speech and ambient audio, but visual information, from the text of a driver's license to the make and model of relevant vehicles. Think of it like a real-time assistant, parsing tone, behavior, location cues, and other information, and using that to automate report generation for officers on the ground. With such a deep understanding of officer interactions, not only do we eliminate paperwork for individual officers, but we use the insights gathered to help departments better serve their communities. Our cloud-based analytics dashboards can measure trends in officer-civilian interactions, quantify the impact of training initiatives, and identify areas to align policing with the public good. These insights aren't just theoretical. Numerous studies demonstrate that review of body cam footage can facilitate behavioral improvements in officer actions. SurveyAI builds on these breakthroughs, allowing the automation of the review of this body cam footage in real time and at scale. Now, let's talk viability. This is a $90 billion market, ripe for growth, and it's largely untouched when it comes to AI-powered automation. We're currently working on a pilot program with Texas police departments, aiming to launch with 5 by year end. From there, we'll scale to other interested states, with insights learned through said pilot program, eventually scaling to the whole US market. As for the competitive landscape, very few of our would-be competitors are currently using AI to tackle day-to-day inefficiencies, failing in terms of report generation and analytics. That's our wedge and our opportunity. Our financial model is built for scalability and sustainability. On the cost side, our two main expenses are cloud computing and continuous R&D, both of which fuel our core AI infrastructure. But importantly, most of our costs are fixed or semi-fixed, meaning that as we onboard new departments, our marginal costs shrink, allowing for us to maintain high margins and long-term profitability. Our subscription model is just as simple. Departments subscribe monthly, with fees associated based on the number of active officer accounts. We estimate that conservatively, SurveyAI could save 33 hours per officer per month, or roughly $1,150 per officer account. This isn't a line item, it's a net cost reducer. Our team is the engine behind SurveyAI, and we're built for this mission. We bring together cross-disciplinary experience in AI, data science, government consulting, and criminal justice. We've worked in startups and in large institutions. We understand both the technical complexity of real-time AI systems and the bureaucratic reality of public sector implementation. At SurveyAI, we're not just using it to automate paperwork, but we're bringing back dignity, trust, and respect to public service, pushing them towards the goal of bringing it to the 21st century. This isn't a product pitch. It's a blueprint for a better future, and we are the team to build it. Thank you. Now let me welcome John Wilburn, our CTO, for Q&A.
So great pitch, by the way.
Thank you.
I think this is going to happen. Why you guys? Like, why are you guys the ones to be able to get this done?
That's a great question. So first of all, this isn't being implemented currently, as we mentioned, right? And seeing this niche, we spent years thinking about ideas like this, obviously not putting it to paper, not having the specifics down. A lot of our friends are in the criminal justice, police officers, parents, family, that sort of deal. So we've talked through this, and we've had this idea for a while, but eventually we put it all together, and this is really where we see it going. We as mentioned, have experience in these sort of systems. And we really do think that this is, as you said, like this is going to happen, and we can be the ones to do it by hitting the market first and hitting it well.
Why don't you think it's already in the market, like using AI right now?
That's a great question. So there are some regulatory issues that obviously come up when talking about something with the public sector implementation. And a lot of firms may stray away from that. They'll say, hey, we can automate this stuff on the private sector, but the public side, they just don't think about it. And a lot of on these government sides, that's where you have this niche popping up, right? Because a lot of attention is focused on the public sector in terms of where we can do this AI automation, but the private sector, sorry. But the public sector in terms of these, in terms of like police departments or other agencies is very limited. There's not as much attention there. And besides that, there's really other bureaucratic issues that come up, and we really do think that we can solve them.
And how would you use the funding?
Yeah, so definitely. We use the funding within our pilot program. For the first year, this year, we estimate to launch with these departments, and a lot of it's going to be through just running through the program, testing our core assumptions of our business model, as well as actually implementing the software. Again, this is a software as a service platform, so we're not building an actual product, so it's pretty easy to scale that way. But getting the training, really fine-tuning our models and building up from the beginning, that's the main use is going to be in our pilot program.
You mentioned body cams in different departments. So are the 5 signed? Like they're signed, you're going to start next year?
No, they're not. We're in talks with a couple of departments, and we're aiming to launch with 5 by the year. That's our goal, but we have not launched with these departments yet.
And your SaaS solution is up and running?
Yes, well, a lot of it is we have the models and we have a lot of the backend stuff that we're showing you, and that's trained on a lot of public data that's available. Body cam footage is something that you can find, and there's plenty of it to go around, and we've used that to train the models, but we're talking with departments in terms of getting this launched, but we have not launched it currently.
I'll try to go quick. Do all these departments have the same forms? Are there standard state forms? Are there different forms for every department? And also you mentioned Palantir is not using AI. That's not been my experience. Can you go into that a little bit?
So Palantir is using AI, but it's not using it in the metrics that we mentioned. Yes, obviously they are. Palantir is huge in the AI space, but they're not doing it in law enforcement. I believe they dipped their toe in a couple of years back, but then they eventually focused on other markets, focused on the defense sector.
Can you talk about the challenges of managing this public data in chain of custody and access? I mean, if you have access to multiple departments' body footage, you become a kind of different special target.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that departments continue to own the data that they already do. This data is going to stay with them, be processed locally on the equipment they already have, and then they're going to have their own cloud infrastructure provisioned per department so that the data stays with them. Over time, we do plan to leverage this data on a more national scale by anonymizing data first and then using it to identify trends at a national level. But as we start out and as we build trust, we're focusing on keeping that data where it already is.
What would be the main reason this doesn't work?
There are hurdles. The main reason it wouldn't work is if departments don't adopt it. The thing there is we've talked with departments already, and we've shown our MVP, and throughout throughout this process, we've shown this technology to a lot of departments. And while there will definitely be some people who are set in their ways and aren't willing to explore new technologies, they're not our planned first adopters, but there are plenty of people who hate paperwork and want this to happen. So we are seeing a lot of interest already in departments to get this done.
And why go out of Texas? Why just 5 here and then go outside?
Well, eventually, as we mentioned there with those with the graphic, we're starting in Texas because that's where we're from. That's where we have our home base is, where we have the connections. But eventually, we want to scale to the whole U.S. market and encapsulate that. Thank you very much.
ladies and gentlemen, let's give one big round of applause for all of our outstanding competition teams. So now our wonderful judges get the task of deliberating. So they will be led to our deliberation room. And now is the very exciting, fun part of the agenda, where you all will be able to cast a vote for fan favorite. So I'll ask each of you to please pull out your cell phones. Okay, so just a quick reminder, please make sure that you turn off any VPNs in which you may be connected. This will affect your opportunity to vote, okay? So please grab your cell phone, scan the QR code on the screen, and it will take you directly to the fan favorite. We will have approximately 5 minutes to do so. Just a reminder that this is only available for those that are present here today. Okay, can you show it to Blas? Okay, thank you for letting us know. Can everyone try again, please? Okay.
Is it supposed to be an air routing guest? Now I did it.
But what did you do?
Air routing guest. Wi-Fi.
Huh? Welcome back, everyone. If everyone can please take a seat. Welcome back, everyone. Now, before we proceed with announcing our winners, we are excited to welcome to the stage a former Draper winning team, Mito Robotics, represented by Bing Lee. This chat will be moderated by Amanda Brown, Associate Director of Strategic Initiatives for the School of Data Science. Please help me welcome them both to the stage.
Okay, I am thrilled to have you join us here today, Bingda.
Thank you, Amanda.
This is a good feeling. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, tell us a little bit about Mito Robotics and how you got started, because from what I recall, it all happened on a Saturday night when you were stuck in a lab,
Yep.
and the rest is history.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Bing, co-founder and CEO of Mito Robotics. Hey Dirk, nice to see you again. So yeah, it all started on a Saturday night when I started my PhD in biomedical engineering at Carnegie Mellon. A little background on my research is I developed cell therapy for organ transplantation in collaboration with the Mayo Clinic. Because of my research, I have to culture a lot of cells, prepare cells for my experiment. But that's a very manual process. As a human, there's just so much physical labor that you can do for that. And plus that, I have to do the actual science of reading paper, designing experiment, things like that. So the volume, the quality, the yield for cells is very low. That's really hurting my research, hurting my experiments. So then I start thinking, what if there's a robot that can do this for me, automating all that cell culture process for me, for other scientists as well. So then I started to explore this AI-powered robot for cell culture. I mean, I'm at Carnegie Mellon University. One thing is known for Carnegie Mellon is AI and robotics. So I reached out to one of my colleagues, Xinyu. I think she's also on the picture. She couldn't be here today. She was a master in robotics back then. And since then, we started to team up to develop this robot for accelerating life science by automating that cell culture part for scientists.
Okay, so you start working on this prototype. How does the whole participation in Draper comes into play?
Yeah, so you know, we were in this competition 2 years ago with just ideas, and we were fortunate enough to receive the second place and 20,000 from that, and that started everything. So after that, we had some funding to prototype, to reach out to more customers, you know, have money to travel, to visit customers, to visit different conferences, and which really opened up the mind for all of us and opened up that research field. So now we have more opportunity to talk with the customers, opportunity to present ourselves, and that actually accelerated a lot in terms of our development. And then right after the competition, I reached out to Tim. Tim Draper, thank you, Amanda, for making the connection. And he replied, he was like, send me your deck. I sent him my deck, it was trash. He didn't respond. But then after 1 year and half, almost 2 years late last year, end of last year, when we were start thinking about fundraising, we reached out to 30, 40 investors.
Okay, I gotta stop you because you can't give it away yet.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, okay, so the $20,000 that you won, that your team won, how did that really help shape those early venture days? And you're still an early stage venture, but how did that really shape your business at that point?
So first of all, it because we are building a robot, so it's very capital intense. So a lot of that money is used to purchase materials for building that robot. And that's probably the majority part of that. And another majority part of that was spent on patenting. So that's one advantage that we as a company has is the patent is owned by us, not by the university, because we used our own money from the competition to apply the IP. We didn't use university resources. So I think any of you who received the cash prize from today, I think you could definitely think about that for your IP portfolio.
Okay, and so now going back to what you're going to give away, you've recently secured $1 million in pre-seed investment from Draper Associates. Congratulations. That's a big round of applause. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's an amazing milestone. So how did that all happen?
Yeah, like I said, Tim initially, didn't give a shit about us, but I totally agree because we were very early. Again, we were just a bunch of students with ideas. And then we spent that money on prototype development, customer engagement. We put our robot in one of the customers' lab, do some testings, had some great feedback from customers, had some demo videos. And then I was like, wait a minute, I haven't followed up with the team yet. So after talking with a lot of investors, we received some of the feedback. Okay, you guys are too early. You guys are not ready for the market, things like that. But then I reached out to Tim again, sent him my updated deck. He was like, okay, let's chat. Then we got on a Zoom meeting, Tim himself, and along with some of his colleagues. Then we had that one meeting, just one meeting. After a week or so, his colleague sent out, okay, I got some money for you guys. So that's actually, when the investors are really, I would say, interested, or if they trust you, it doesn't take that long, to be honest, because before when you're reaching out to the wrong investors, it takes a long time to convince them what you are building, who you are, on your vision. But with the right investor, with true visionary investors, the minute they see your deck, the minute they were like, okay, this actually have a future, so maybe I want to put some money onto that. It's, I'm not saying that we can make it absolutely like 100% that create that vision that we build, but now we have a great opportunities and a much higher chance of making that happen, thanks to Draper.
So a few takeaways from what you just said. We all know that the journey to entrepreneurship is not easy. There's bumps on the road, and it's not so linear. So to what you just spoke about and the perseverance of it all, after so many no's and reaching out to Tim again, and finally a yes, and a yes that comes with funding. Yeah. That's amazing. What do you think were the secret ingredients to make that happen? Aside from being perseverant, what else do you think contributed to that?
I think, one thing I think is the most important for all the entrepreneurs is storytelling, because, to be honest, no one cares what you're doing. No one. No matter how important you think your idea is to the world, to the society, to the humanity, no one cares. But if you can make them feel that emotion that you're feeling, then they can start to care. So if you tell your story that the audience can relate to, and I see a lot of the technology from today, a lot of them, the audience can truly feel it as well. I felt it. And I think that's another part, other than the hard work, is how can you tell the right story to the right audience, to the right investor, to help them understand what you're doing. It's not the information you deliver, it's the information that they receive. And if they're receiving the right information, the right vision that they also align with, then you will have a much higher chance of convincing people, whether it's investor or customers, because the minute you stay on this stage or other stage, you become a salesperson. You sell your ideas, you sell your vision, you sell your technology.
So you have the perseverance, you have the storytelling aspect. Now, you talked about completing your PhD. I think in a few months you'll be done with it. How do you think that being a student entrepreneur and navigating the world of startup, how do you think that those one has complemented the other? What do you think as a student has taught you to prepare for that journey? Because so many of our teams today, all of them actually are all students.
Yeah, I think one unique thing about me being a student is my research is being enabled by my technology is developing. So I'm not trying to develop something that I completely have no idea about, and all of a sudden I think, okay, this can be solved with AI, and then I started building the venture. Everything is initiated from my research. So what I'm building right now is truly to help my research, to help me accelerate my experiments and other scientists like me. So me being a PhD candidate at Carnegie Mellon is helping me do more customer engagement as well, because all the labs around me, all my colleagues are my potential customers as well. My department is my potential customers. So I'm really working alongside with them to show them what I'm building from the scratch and to show them that this thing could really happen, because 2 years ago, nobody believed, because the robot that we built is bigger than the fridge that anyone has in the home, and it's much more costly than your dream car. So, and nobody believed that just a student in school can achieve that. But now we have delivered a robot to a customer's lab. It's already accelerating life science research as we're speaking. And so I think that creates a good image for some of my colleagues to believe, okay, he really made it. Maybe I want a robot from him, I don't know, but hopefully. So I think that's a very mutual beneficial type of thing for my study, for my research as a PhD student, and then also my company.
And to that point, this venture idea arose from your own studies and from the fact that you needed something to simplify all of the time and effort that you're putting in the lab. And you've told me that you've landed a contract with Carnegie Mellon. Can you talk about that, or is that okay?
Yeah, so they have purchased some prototype from us, but we are doing some testings. We are doing some research, and if everything goes well, we will potentially land that contract with him. I mean, with one of this VP or like director of Carnegie Mellon. But yeah, still a lot to do. Still a lot is cooking, but the future is pretty exciting for us right now. Yeah. So
Okay, and I know we're almost at time, so before we wrap up, what is one major unanticipated challenge that happened that you were not expecting when you started this whole venture journey?
Unexpected challenge. Well, I think you need to be very wise on choosing the people working alongside with you. So, you know, in the early stage, I mean, we're still very early, but initially you will have a lot of colleagues around you and the teammates, but not every teammates want the same thing as you are. So you want to make sure that you align your vision and also the legal parts with the teammates as well. You need to make sure that they understand what they are getting out of this journey, because you need to manage the expectations. Another thing is about like other than the storytelling is expectation management is huge, whether it's with the investor or a customer, but also with your teammate as well. So choosing the right teammate is, you know, one of the most important thing to me so far, and it was one of the unexpected challenges, because I did have some issues that some of the teammates are not expecting the things that we would like expecting. So so there was some kind of a miscommunication. So created a little bit issue, but everything resolved. But that's the one thing that I want to say about the unexpected challenge.
As you're saying that, I'm literally thinking, I don't know about you guys, when my mom would say, be careful of the company you keep, that's literally what's coming to mind as you're saying this. Looking ahead, what's happening with Mito? What should we expect from you guys?
Yeah. Hopefully, by the end of this year, we will be finishing the full robot. Right now, we have some prototypes. We'll also be at one of the largest summit called the Robotic Summit in Boston in 2 weeks. We have a booth. If anyone happen to be there, would love to connect. And yeah, by the end of this year, hopefully we will also land some more contracts. We have some very promising leads. So right now we're working on that, do the sales work job. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the near future.
Okay, so since we're at time, one final piece of advice you have for all of our student teams today.
Yeah, don't make this your last pitch competition. Just continue pitching, and it will improve like drastically after a few rounds of a practice. So think of this as whether you get money out of today's competition or not. I think this is a great opportunity to practice, to learn the feedbacks from the judges, and then receive the feedbacks. Continue to improve your pitch. I think just don't make this to be your last pitch. That's it.
Thank you so much, Bang Da. And I think on behalf of everybody here, we feel very fortunate to have been part of your journey because we played a very, very tiny, small role, but it's exciting to see all that you've been doing since then. So well done on behalf of everyone.
Thank
you. While we cannot go into any Q&A at the moment, Bang Da will be available during the social hour if anybody would like to connect or ask any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, are we excited? The moment of truth? The moment we've all been waiting for is finally time to announce this year's winners. So I'd like to invite the judges to please proceed to the stage. They will assist us in awarding up to $100,000 in prizes. So our very first prize is honorable mention, and this one recognizes a business idea with a very strong potential. This award for $7,000 goes to SMAI. Next, we will present the most data science driven, which is the most innovative and novel application of data science tools, techniques, and methodologies. This award for $8,000 goes to MedIQ from Rice. And fan favorite, which of course was voted by each of you, it will be given at the amount of $10,000 to Serve AI from UTSA. Our third place for $15,000 goes to Perfection AI from Carnegie Mellon. So second place for $25,000 goes to Serve AI from UTSA. And finally, our first place winners for the Draper 2025 year's competition goes to MedIQ from Rice. So again, thank you y'all may take a seat, yes. Congratulations again to all of our winners. As we near the end of our event, I'd like to invite Dr. Zhenwei Niu, Interim Director of the School of Data Science, to share some final remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. You together make this a very successful event. Thank you, and congratulations to all the teams. So this year, we welcomed 8 finalist teams from Canada, Mexico, across Texas, and beyond. It really highlights the growing international reach and the reputation of this event. So we are deeply grateful to Team and Melissa Draper, whose generosity continues to drive the next generation of innovators. Thank you. And also I would like to thank every faculty member, staff member, and the judges, the mentors, and everyone who make this event possible and successful. So your continued support as well as inspiration to our students are critical. We really appreciate that. And this year, I know we have 8 teams make to the final competition. Not only is they demonstrated incredible technical skills, but also the efforts they put in and the creativity they demonstrated is really, really awesome. So I also want to say this competition reflects our university's deep commitment to fostering innovation, not just because our team, 2 teams of UTSA won different awards, but really is we want to always at UTSA to promote interdisciplinary collaboration and a real-world impact. And I think every team has done a fantastic job. So finally, I would like to acknowledge that whether you are placed today or not, that you should know this is just one step in a much bigger journey, the start of it for many of you. And then the story from the Metro Robotics, you have seen their success, right? It takes time to really grow the product as well as the ideas. So this story is very powerful reminder that with vision, persistence, and support, anything is possible. So we are incredibly proud of all of you and excited to see where your journeys lead. Thank you, and have a good night.
So again, congratulations to all of our winners. As Dr. New expressed, we wish you the very best as you continue your entrepreneurial journeys. All of us at the UTSA School of Data Science feel very privileged to support your endeavors and are excited to see the impact that each and every one of you make in your industries and your communities. To all the wonderful families that are out there joining us virtually, we thank you so much for being part of our special day. We know that each and every one of our competitors truly appreciates your support even from afar. So finally, I'd like to invite everyone to our celebratory social hour that'll be hosted in the lobby. We'll have some hors d'oeuvres, refreshments will be served. And we also encourage you to network and mingle with the teams. Feel free to chat with Bingda, take a few pictures, network. And we thank you very much for coming today, and we hope you enjoy your evening. Thank you very, very much.